Welcome to News and Views. I'm Danae Jones and it's my pleasure to bring you this week's segment. This episode we're at the Chambers. Housed in a former bank from the 1920s, the Chambers is a unique landmark in the heart of Cairns City, with a charming cafe, 2 bustling bars, a cosy restaurant and an in-house patisserie and bakery. Labelled by locals as one of Cairns' best cafe restaurants and bars, the Chambers offers a unique modern Australian menu headed up by head chef Michael Orford. Today we're talking to Senior Constable Adam Frew. Yarra Yarns is a social project that shares Indigenous stories or yarns for inspiration, motivation, education, empowerment, reconciliation and crime prevention. And it is a concept created by Adam Frew himself. The project's values are culture, positivity, unity, respect and pride. The participants are Indigenous elders, leaders, educators, role models, influencers, achievers and motivated community members that yarn about life, culture, beliefs, language, community, professions, history, achievements, opportunities and the challenges that we all face on a day-to-day basis. Welcome to News and Views, Adam.
Thank you very much. Excited to be here.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
now,
no
we
worries.
heard about your story and you said it's not your idea as such.
Yep.
You actually found it somewhere else in the world. Can you share with us where you found out about it?
Yes. I was following Humans in New York, where the fella, he went around New York and he was unemployed at the time. He loved photography, so he went around and just took photos of people from the streets of New York and then asked for their story. And there was a lot of different stories that come out of doing that. He put it on a blog and the blog went viral, basically. I located it on Facebook, so I was following that. I was working at Yarrabah at the time. I was running a project called Facebook Not Fight Book because there was a lot of negative social media happening on Facebook at the time over in Yarrabah. So I started that project, and it's sort of like, it was a project sort of telling people not to post negative stuff on social media and stuff like that. When you tell people not to do something, sometimes it works the opposite. So I thought, well, how can I switch that to do it in a positive way? Also, just working in Indigenous communities for over 10 years, I knew all about all the positive stories, all the people doing great things, and that Indigenous communities were featured on in the newspaper or on the news many a times in the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, let's flip it, and tell the positive stories and showcase that.
And so it's such a great initiative. I love what you're doing. And although, yes, that concept might have been started in America, you've definitely given it a local North Queensland or Indigenous feel.
Yep.
Tell us, what are some of the successes that have come out of this program so far?
Yeah. Breaking down a lot of barriers and perceptions. When I first started the project in Yarrabah, the project's been going for about 3 years now. In the first couple of stories, there was a message there that people from Cairns didn't realise that you could go out to Yarrabah. Some people thought you still needed a permit to go out to Yarrabah. So back when it was a mission, yes, you did. You needed a permit to go there, but they also needed permits to leave the community.
Yeah, right.
So it's really been breaking down those perceptions and barriers. Also, you have people wanting to go to these communities to check it out after it's been featured. So they're going out there and they're going to the local art centre or they're going to the local coffee shop. So it's creating sort of business out there, and also tourism through the different tour companies and stuff that I've highlighted. So it's definitely been highlighting those communities in a positive light, and people want to go and see for themselves those communities and learning about the history of different communities and obviously culture as well. So, yeah.
And so yarning is something that, you know, Indigenous culture are very used to doing, storytelling. Yes. So it would be very familiar to them.
Yes.
How are you capturing their stories?
So I've got like a little recorder, not a big setup like this, so it doesn't freak a lot of people out. They're happy.
Sorry if we freaked you out.
No, not at all, not at all. So they're happy to tell their yarn. So I record that on a little recorder, and then I transcribe the yarn. I take photos of the participant, and then I share the yarn and the photo on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter platforms. And they just there's a couple of the elders are a bit nervous to tell their yarn, but generally once you start talking in a casual way, it's very easy for them to open up after that. I really use the police liaison officers in the different communities. I do know a lot of people myself from working in a lot of communities, but the police liaison officers are the connection between the police and the community, so they know who's doing well, who's doing really well, and the great stories and stuff. So I use them to help me to gather the yarns. And so most people are quite relaxed when the police liaison officer or a police officer from the community is sitting there as well. As a police service, we're learning a lot about the different communities, especially the history of it. So when you're a police officer dealing with the challenges and the issues, you can think back to the trials and tribulations that a particular community's gone through, and you can you can make the connection, and you can start showing empathy towards a lot of the issues, and then think about how best to approach them. So,
do you think that it's had a positive outcome in the way that your police community also deal with the Indigenous community that are facing so many challenges, in that you're connecting on a different level?
Yes, yeah, definitely. They love it that police are talking to them in a positive way, so it really breaks the barriers down there. Some jobs I've been to, they've called police, you turn up there, and we start talking about Yarra yarns or something, and you were sort of, why was I called here? The job becomes the
secondary.
Secondary basically. And same as the shirt that I'm wearing. It's called Look to the Stars, and the Queensland Police have made this initiative. So we've got shirts, and a couple of the police cars are painted up as well, and that's also breaking down barriers in those communities, because the community members love the fact that we're wearing Indigenous artwork, and it's got a story. Artwork's got a story. So using artwork for communication and for reconciliation and for healing. So it's very powerful.
Extremely
artwork.
Powerful. Yeah. I think it's inspiring what you're doing.
Yeah. Thank you.
You've got some pretty big plans, and you said that Queensland Police, or the hierarchy above you, have been very supportive in what you've been doing, which I think is phenomenal. Can you explain to us what the plans are long term for this project?
Yes, to expand it into other communities, and to try and gather, we will gather 250 yarns this year, for this year and next year, to showcase those yarns at the Cooktown Expo 2020, which is in July next year. It's the 250th anniversary of when Captain Cook and his crew grounded the boat Endeavour at the Cooktown, and there they came ashore. Yeah, came ashore and interacted with the local Indigenous people there. So it's also the 250 years since the first act of reconciliation. So we want to highlight that.
That's a very big goal.
Yes.
Yeah, nothing like reaching for the stars.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And so how do you hope to do that at that event? Have you given some thought to how you'd like to go about doing that?
I'd like to do a photo exhibition. We're currently looking for funding partners to because it will cost a little bit of money just to print up all the photos and stuff. All the photos that we do generate, and if the exhibition goes ahead, those photos will be given to the participants. We also do photo books as well of the participants. So each participant does get a photo book, and it's got their photo and their story in those photo books. And that also gets distributed around the community as well. So it empowers the storyteller, empowers the community. So that's what the plan is.
And so you've started attracting a bit of media attention, not just here locally with people like ourselves, but all over Australia, I believe.
Yeah, so I shared the story of Yarra Yarns on our police blog.
Yep.
And ABC Australia picked that up. They did a story on Yarra Yarns. Since then, Triple M interviewed me. I've got an invitation to attend Nudgee College for their the opening of the Arts Festival.
Yep.
And also an international journalist contacted me. He's got connections to German, Austrian and Swiss newspapers, and an article just went into a German newspaper this week about the project. So it's it's really gaining momentum. I've got over 8,000 followers on the 3 social media platforms, which is gaining new followers every day. But this project wouldn't be possible without the participants and the traditional owners of the area and throughout all the communities that I attend. Without their support, this project wouldn't be possible. So I've definitely got to acknowledge the traditional owners, the participants, and my organisation to making it possible and getting us to where we are today.
Well, it's an amazing initiative, and absolute credit to you, which you won't probably give yourself, but we can give that for you, for being the white fella that actually came up with the concept in the first place. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I think it's phenomenal what you're doing, and I hope you can come back and share with us where this goes.
Yeah, most definitely. And the scope of the project is just massive. Every time I interview someone, my list just gets bigger and bigger. People message me or email me and go, "Oh, can you interview this person, interview that person?" A lot of people want to hear the elders' stories, which is great. So, I've got a big list, and I'm trying to get around everyone.
I bet you do.
It's going to take a while.
Yeah, you're only one person.
Yeah, that's right.
I bet plenty of content.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all the best with it. We wish you well down in Brisbane at Nudgee.
Thank you.
And we hope you'll come back to News and Views and share your journey.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Adam. So there you have it, folks. Senior Constable Adam Frew here from our Queensland Police Service in our local Far North Queensland community, the founder and creator of Yarra Yarns. So watch this space. We think that it's actually going to reach new heights. Don't be afraid to subscribe to our YouTube channel and share this wonderful story on your social platforms. That's all we have for you this week. We'll see you next week.